And good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Kuzz. I am Vinny Kuzz, and yeah, big day yesterday, huh? Big day yesterday. Um, I gotta go with the majority of people are satisfied with this morning. I'm not real sure. Um, but the election happened. The election happened, and now it's over. And so now the real work begins. All that at each other's necks the way they were between Trump and Harris, and red states, blue states, Democrats, Republicans, and all of that shit. And I always wonder, man, how much pain, how much harm do these elections, actually bring on? I got people, and I'm sure you guys do too. I got people that I would normally talk to all the time. We was cool. I'm not saying we were, sunshine and roses, but we wasn't at each other's throats. And now you can't even have what used to be a meaningful conversation is now small talk. It's just the way it is. Anyway, by the way, this morning's coffee, okay? This morning's coffee, y'all, is Publix brand. Because my broke ass can't afford Folgers coffee. $7 at Publix right now for the same size container as the Publix brand. But next time you're in Publix, read the Publix brand label. Save yourself a couple bucks. I did. All right, y'all know how it goes on here, right? Once I'm done with this cup of coffee, show is over. So we're gonna get into it today a little bit. I'll bring up this first thing here. Now I know this chart isn't completely official, but here again, I don't know how many elections you guys have been through. I've been through a few of them. Probably the most notable started with Reagan in 1980. That's when I was in middle school, starting to get ready to go into high school. I know y'all don't mess with me. Yes, I'm Gen X. Anyway, we used to stay out after the lights came on the street. Didn't have no internet, damn it. Anyway, and so following these maps, the only surprises that I really see that I see up here, the only surprise, Ohio. Ohio used to be such a battleground state for elections. Like that's all they ever talked about. Ohio, Pennsylvania, in Michigan. And we look here, Michigan's still counting votes. Looks like that might wind up right now. Looks like that's going to go for Trump. Arizona, looks like now. Remember last election, Arizona had a hard time with counting votes. It looks like this year they're going to be okay. They are at 61% reporting. In Nevada, well, Nevada's Nevada, 84% revote. Those three states look like they're going to go red. It doesn't matter. Donald Trump is the next president of the United States. He did what he had to do. I guess the American people spoke, man. That's all I can say. But here's the thing. Whether you were on the side of Harris or the side of Trump, did you catch Trump's acceptance speech last night? If you are a Democrat supporter, right? If you are a Democrat supporter, you need to go listen to Donald Trump's acceptance speech. Y'all can say what you want about the man. The man was very humble last night. Humble. And it was a genuine humbleness that he was speaking to the people, man. I'm here for everybody. Let's be done with that. If y'all remember when Joe Biden won the election, he was very arrogant. His acceptance speech was extremely arrogant. And oh yeah, tongue in cheek. Oh yeah, I'm here for everybody. And we see how that worked out. Trump has a different humbleness, not like his first term. He's either somebody got in his ear and calmed him down, or he realized that his first go around as president was like, that was the honeymoon and he was able to do things. But then the establishment, the government, the three-letter agencies, the Democrat gangsters, if you want to call them that. They humbled Trump. Trump got humbled. Make no mistake about that. Donald Trump got humbled. All the lawsuits and all of that stuff, the impeachments. Hell, they tried to take him out, right? He's got that nasty little hole in his ear now. He got humbled, man. And so I think in this second term, it's really, really going to bode well for him. And I hope, that it bodes well for all Americans. Now, elephant in the room, right? If you're on my channel, more than likely you drive one of the gig apps, right? Elephant in the room. What's going to happen with the apps? Are they going to finally be reined in? Let me give you a little history lesson for you newer drivers. When Donald Trump won the first time, Travis Kalanick was the CEO of Uber. If you don't know this, I don't know if you know this or not. He was the original CEO of Uber, right? He was co-founder and got them all going. And he accepted a position on Donald Trump's President 45 on his economic council because Kalanick realized that to be a player in the game, you got to be in the game, right? You got to be in the game. If you don't have a seat at the table, you're just a peasant. You don't matter. And Kalanick realized that, and he accepted that. And you know what happened? He bowed down to the woke mob within his own company, to the angel investors, the venture capitalists, all of these. You go and you watch the series, Super Pumped, and I forget who it was, Stars, Showtime, whatever. But if you go and you watch it, it's pretty accurate. There's a clown running around on Twitter now, X now, at Jason. Go look up at Jason stuff. He's still a fucking clown. He is still a clown. And so, because his people came at him to get off that council, he got off the council. And when he got off that council, he closed the door on what Uber could do or how they could maneuver within the playing field, right? Fast forward a little bit. Prior to Trump, you had Tony West, I think is his name, big legal for Uber's number one legal. And this isn't a slam on anybody. We're not doing that today. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican either. Although I lean to the right, I'm not a Republican. I'm a no party affiliation. I'm done with both parties. But here's the thing. Prior to that, you had Tony West. He was a legal. Y'all should do your research on him, right? And he did a lot of crooked shit with Obama administration, right? A lot of lawsuits, stuff like that. Guy's good at his job. He's very good at his job. My point to this is now it's the second go round. Trump is back. Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, all these gig apps, but those are the main three gig apps, right? Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash. For the last 4 years, they have absolutely ramrodded drivers. If you go back and you look at the timelines in the last 4 years under the outgoing administration, drivers have been ramrodded, stuffed, taken out, popped in the hind parts. This is what they've done. And so now, I'm not saying anything's going to change, but there is one big thing that's going to change. All those folks, rightfully or wrongfully, all those folks that crossed over within the next 18 months, because let's be honest, it's going to take a year or two for whatever Trump's policies are going to be, whatever they're going to be, whether we like them or hate them, whatever they're going to be, it's going to take a year and a half for them to get done, to get to where we'll see it. But once they do, for the gig app community, it should be better for drivers because you should have less saturation, not only because of deportations. That's a big key. We're seeing it now the last month, right? It has to be. Nobody's confirmed it, but nobody's denied it either. They're taking safety, drivers, legal accounts. They are taking legal accounts seriously for whatever reason, right? So now we're going to see the results of that. But not only that, we have to remember under the previous Trump's administration, everybody made money. Not one person can't tell me, and I'm talking about us, blue collar people, workers, what we do. We get up in the morning, we go to work. Sometimes we got to work 2 jobs. Sometimes we got to work 3 jobs. But whatever it is, we get up and we go to work. Whether you're a gig app or Wawa or a doctor or a nurse, whatever, everybody got paid under Trump. In my lifetime, the only other president that happened under was Bill Clinton. When Bill Clinton was in the White House, everybody got paid. Everybody made money. There was prosperity. Matter of fact, that was the last time we had a federally balanced budget was under Bill Clinton. So I don't care that he was getting blowjobs in the White House. I don't care that Trump just sliced off the 9th hole. I don't care about that shit. That does not affect you or me. What they do in their personal life is their personal life. It's just like here in Florida, we had 2 big ballot initiatives. I'm not going to get into the politics of it. One was concerning abortion. One was concerning marijuana. From what I understand, if I remember correct, both failed to pass because the people spoke. And that's what we are. We're the people, right? Did they have the majority to pass? Yes, but it needs 60%. That's the rule. That's the law. You don't like the law, you change the law. But you know what I notice is as far as like marijuana is concerned, I don't see nobody getting arrested for that. As long as you ain't got 3 bales in the trunk, you know, or in your front if you got a Tesla, as long as you ain't hauling weed around and selling that shit on the street, cops ain't messing with you. So don't cry over that shit. No, because I walk out my door in the morning. I used to be able to go out and sit on my patio and get the fresh air in the morning at 5, 6 in the morning. And now I walk out there and I don't know where the hell the marijuana smell is coming from, but I don't like the shit. I don't like it. But hey, what am I going to do? That's just the way it is. So anyway, my point is we're all going to be affected by this presidency. Will the gig apps, how are they going to react to now having not a favorable administration in the White House? Because don't forget, Tony West, number 1 legal for Uber, is Kamala Harris's brother-in-law. You don't think with Harris there wasn't going to be no favorability? I can say the same thing for Elon. Elon is my guy. Everybody knows, follows my channel. Y'all know I'm an Elon guy. Elon was the difference in this election. Elon was the difference in this election. Make no mistake about it. Now, matter of fact, who do y'all think? Let me know in the comments down there. I see we got 17 people in the group. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to Coffee with Kuzz. We're going to try to do this every morning if we can, or every couple mornings a week. Here's what happens now. Who do you think the most hated person in America is today? It's not Donald Trump. Not even close. He might be number 2 or number 3, but he ain't the most hated person in America today. Elon Musk, number 1. Promise you. I don't know if you guys caught the clip with what you call it, Rachel Maddow and MSNBC, MSDNC, whatever you want to call them. She was like, the next administration should take all of his stuff away. The next administration should take all his rockets away and government contracts. For what? They're so pissed off he bought X and he opened it up for all of us. X is a war zone, man. For a public square, it's a war zone. But you know what's there? Free speech. What's the First Amendment? Free speech. Freedom of the press. Freedom to feel how you feel. Freedom to say what you want to say as long as you're not causing harm to somebody else. It's not a hard concept. The founding fathers of this nation, right, they were ambiguous, just ambiguous enough to give you a solid framework that could be expanded, contracted, but not broken. So, yeah, it'll be interesting, y'all. It will be interesting to see how we move forward from here now. There's a lot of people that are going to be butthurt this morning. There's a lot of people that are going to be partying in the streets. I'm not going to gloat. I'm going to take the high road like President-elect Trump did last night in his, well, this morning, about 2:30 this morning. I'm going to take the high road like he did. We're not going to gloat. There's too much work to be done. Listen, the big three things he's got to deal with right now, right? Number one, and I'm sure he's already on the phone if he already didn't have it in place, got to stop Ukraine and Russia. Got to stop that conflict. If for no other reason, innocent lives are being lost for what? For a conflict that's about to be cut off and finished and done? All them people died for what? If you've never been in combat, you would not understand. For what? So they got to end that shit. Because not only are lives being lost, families being destroyed, right? It's like the crack epidemic here in the 1980s. So many lives were lost, so many families destroyed. Not only is that happening, the economic impact, right? The only people benefit from war are defense contractors. That's it. In a just war, and the last just war that I can think of was World War II. It's the last just war. We had no business in Korea. We had no business in Vietnam. We got no business having volunteer boots on the ground in Ukraine. We had no business in Afghanistan. The whole goal there was to get Osama bin Laden and get the fuck out. Y'all know what they call Afghanistan, right? That's where empires go to die. Afghanistan has never been conquered. I don't know if y'all know that. I'm not going to go down that road. But anyway, so they got to end that conflict. That's, in my opinion, that's the number one thing that's got to be done. They got to end that conflict, man. They got to end it. Number two, well, you know what? We'll go with number one and number 1A. They got to solve that Israeli Gaza thing, Palestine thing. That's another thing that's got to be. And now it's like, what is it? Israel and Iran. We already knew it was Iran. I mean, anybody worth their salt who pays this much attention to the news knows that this is being spurned on by Iran. We know this, right? They're financing it. We won't get into that. But those two conflicts, they got to be dealt with, man. Too many lives going to be lost. And eventually, it winds up costing us, the American taxpayer, money. And I don't know about y'all, but I am not independently wealthy. I am barely back. Barely back. I am barely surviving right now. So I'm welcoming Trump back into the White House. Because if it is half, if it's only half as productive as it was his first term, I'm talking about the economy, then I think all of us can finally start to get back ahead a little bit. Because this break-even shit or just below the poverty line, it ain't cutting it, man. It ain't cutting it. So that's number one. Number two, they got to get the immigration thing under control. Maybe, finally, maybe they can get some serious, honest immigration reform done. You know what? Let me get this up here. I haven't even, oh my God. Nomadic, hey, Ceci, how you doing? We are barely surviving. I'm telling you, people don't understand how hard it is out here. They just don't know. Here in Florida, here you go. Last presidential cycle, I think Florida had 25 electoral college votes. We got 30 electoral college votes this year. 30. We picked up that many more people that moved into the state of Florida alone. 25 million people in the state of Florida now. 25. Our prices, our cost of living here is on par with a New York, with a Massachusetts, with an LA, with a San Francisco. We are on par with those major economic powerhouses. Make no mistake about it. New York is still a powerhouse when it comes to the financial markets. LA, San Fran, California, Long Beach, they are still a powerhouse when it comes to importing, okay? Economic powerhouse. All the shit comes from there, from China and Japan and all that bullshit. Comes right in through the ports there. It's a powerhouse. Chicago, another financial powerhouse. But what Florida doesn't have, that those three major economic powers have, we ain't got no fucking economy down here. What does Florida have? We don't make nothing. What do we make? Oranges? Strawberries, maybe? That's about it. The beach is already made, right? People come to Florida to do one of two things. They either come here to party, because we are the original Vegas. And you know what? Let me tell you something. Fuck Vegas. Okay. Miami is the original. What happens here stays here. They stole that shit. I just want to make y'all need to go back and do your history. They were getting screwed up and jacked up in Florida, in Miami, way before Vegas was even established. But anyway, I digress. Florida don't make nothing, man. We don't build nothing here. So people come here to vacation and party, or they come here to retire and die. That's it. That's why our wages do not increase with the demand for housing and all of that. I mean, if you look at Florida right now, right, rents are up 60%, 70%. That's not a fake number. That's a real fucking number. A 1-1 in the hood will cost you $1,800 a month, and you got to duck and hide every night to get home. That's terrible. They're everywhere around me. They're building up all these new complexes, all these new apartments. If they find an empty strip mall somewhere, they're tearing the strip mall down and putting up these apartment complexes. They're starting at $3,000 a month. Listen, you ain't paying for no 1-1 $3,000 a month before electricity, before water, before insurance, before food, before car. You ain't paying for that shit on no Uber salary. Kiss my ass. You ain't doing it. You ain't going to do it at a regular 9-to-5 job either. Entry level, mid-level, white-collar jobs cannot afford, according to the ratio, cannot afford $3,000 a month just to lay their head down. They might come home, have no lights on, might not be any food in the refrigerator. You don't know. So I'm just saying, we are in that spot where we need help. You and me, y'all heard me say this before, kings and peasants, we need help. So they got to go after the immigration, right? Because what happens with immigration? It's supply and demand, y'all, right? Democrats, and yeah, I'm going to call them out for this. Democrats will tell you, well, we need the immigrant. Did you hear Debbie Wasserman Schultz, right? She's the disgraced former Democratic National Committee president, got caught cheating on an election. She had to resign that post in disgrace. She is a disgrace. She sat there and said on TV, I can't believe she said, who's going to pick our food? If we don't have immigrants, who's going to pick our food? Well, maybe if you paid a decent wage, there are tons, and I mean tons, of homeless folks out there that aren't so far gone that they can't go and do these jobs because it gives them opportunity. Teddy Roosevelt? Yeah, it was Teddy. I think it was Theodore Roosevelt. Started the Triple C, right? Conservation Corps. He gave people jobs. That's creating jobs. So maybe we take our homeless folks that are actually trying to get off the streets, and they got to work hard. Okay. What the hell? Ain't nobody ever worked hard a day in their life? It ain't supposed to be an easy life. Nobody guaranteed any of us a silver spoon all our lives. So you find these jobs and you put people to work. So that's a bullshit goddamn excuse. Oh, well, we need the illegal immigration so people can pick our food. Stop. It's like that commercial. You guys seen that commercial where they said they show you a line of cows. All you see is the hind parts of the cows, right? And they say, oh, these are grass-fed cows. And it's a big old trough coming by. And it's dumping grass. But they're not out in the fields eating the grass. They're still locked in. That's all they do is just eat grass all day long. Eat and shit. Eat milk. Eat shit. So yeah, they're eating grass. They are grass-fed, but they're still caged. So they got to get the immigration thing under control. That's number 2. And then number 3, and this is probably not gonna be that great of a thing, but it needs to happen. We need to bring jobs, manufacturing back to the United States. It just has to happen. Whatever that means. If that means semiconductors, right? The last time I checked, Intel, Trump had started the deal with Intel. Biden wound up finishing the deal with Intel. See, and that's what I mean. on paper, they show us the Republicans and the Democrats always fighting against each other. But nobody realized that Republicans and Democrats were on the same team when it comes to that Intel factories being built here, because there was a lot of money, a lot of subsidies given to Intel, tax breaks given to Intel for them to get their manufacturing back over here in the States. You got to have it, because if nothing else, y'all know the pause showed us that the more dependent America is on any country, not attached, physically attached to our country, we got problems if we got a world situation. Could you imagine? Think about this for a second. Could you imagine the world breaks into World War III? Okay. The world breaks out into World War III. What's the first thing China's going to do? The very first thing China's going to do, they're going to go right over to Taiwan. They're going to hop right over that little water spout, because it ain't nothing to them, and they're going to go take them over. Then what happens to all the semiconductors? Taiwan is the number one manufacturer of semiconductors. Now we got no chips. So there's no chips for drones, right? The previous administration used to like to say, well, we can fight the war from over the horizon. Do you know what that means? That means we could have people in shipping containers flying drones out of Nevada, right? That's over the horizon. We're in Nevada flying drones in Afghanistan and dropping bombs in Syria and Afghanistan and Iran and Iraq and any place else you can think of. But if we don't have semiconductors, we can't make them. If we can't make the drones, we can't fight the war. Then what has to happen? Boots on the ground again. Now, so just something, that just something to think about. Those are the three main things I think needs to happen. Is it going to happen? I don't know. We're going to find out, but it's going to take a year or two. The real work starts now. The election was like that was like, I don't know. It was like going on a date before you had sex. It's just the way it is. Yes, I said that. Now we know who our president's going to be. And here's the other thing, I really wasn't thinking about it too much. And I see everybody in the comments. I need to go and get over. I need to go and say hello to everybody. Let me do this real quick. I apologize. I got on a rant, right? Accounting Tom and Steven, they always want me to rant. Well, here you go. Y'all got y'all rant this morning. Ryan, what's going on? Accounting Tom is in the black. Okay. Silver Fox, hello. COD Mobile. Pascal, what's going on? Sassy, girl, Melvin, who else is in the chat? Dirty South, what's going on, D? Buddha, what you doing, Buddha? Tony, I see Tony is in the Driven Dad. Yep, is he? And that's cool. See, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with people wanting MAGA. I don't have a problem if you're a Democrat. Just don't be a dumbass. Don't be so, and same thing for Republicans. Don't be blinded by the bullshit. Don't be blinded by the bullshit. That should be another Buddhilations. Don't be blinded. What's going on, Antonio? How are you? Okay, I think I got everybody. Don't be blinded by the garbage, man. Believe what's the cliche? Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. Because the half you see is what they want you to see. The half you don't see is the distraction. The distraction is what you need to be paying attention to. So anyway, that's my take on the election. I'm glad that not only, there is one more thing. Okay, I said I wasn't going to gloat. I'm going to gloat a little bit here. I have a question for you guys. Here's my question. Do you guys see this number here? It says here, and I know this number is not final, but it says here, Donald Trump got 71,353,000 votes. He won the election